on my way to go jogging, and I am driving down James Road near the corner of Livingston Avenue on the east side of Columbus, near where I grew up. I'm actually driving right past the place that was one of my first jobs in the 80s. It was a grocery store called Big Bear, a very popular and famous among the people who shop there, grocery store, which is now a kind of cheaper discount grocery store called Save-A-Lot. Anyway, so as creatives, we have to learn a lot of different things. We have to learn, work ethic, how to get our products done and, get our ideas out of our heads and out into the world. We need to learn how to get along with different personality types. And definitely at my first job at Big Bear, I learned how to get along with different personality types. There were I worked there in high school. It was right up the street from where I grew up on James Road. And, in many workplaces there are cliques, even with adults there are cliques, but certainly with teenagers, there's definitely that tendency for people to group up in cliques. And, people were respectful of each other, but definitely there were times where I felt like I didn't fit in with the other teens who worked at Big Bear, because I've always been off the beaten path, kind of unique and offbeat as a lot of artists are. We just have these unique personalities that don't always mesh with what's considered quote unquote normal. And another thing I learned, and this is, many creatives, take on clients where they're doing, design work or writing or video making on a contract basis for different clients, and you have to learn to work with demanding people. And I definitely learned at Big Bear how to work with demanding people. There was one particular manager who was just very, I guess authoritative might be the word, but bossy is a little more accurate. And I remember there was one time in particular when this manager came to me and told me that there was a spill in one of the aisles, like a liquid spill that I needed to go clean up. And the time it took him to come over to me and tell me there was a spill, he could have wiped it up. I guess he just felt like because he was a manager, he shouldn't be wiping up a spill. I was a bagger, which is sort of like being a busboy in a restaurant where you're kind of a jack of all trades for menial tasks. And I guess this manager felt like because he had authority, he shouldn't be wiping up spills. But what if a customer had slipped and fallen in that time that he took walking over to relay the message to me that there was a spill? The store could have been sued because that manager didn't take swift action to clean up the spill himself. So as another thing we have to learn as creatives is sometimes you're in management positions. For example, if you're directing a movie, you're by default a manager who's managing people. So I believe that when you're a manager, you shouldn't ask people who are working for you or working alongside you to do work that you're not willing to do yourself. So that's interesting. I just learned those lessons as a teenager at one of my first jobs. It's funny, the grocery store had a slogan called "Give 'em a Big Bear hug." And I think the slogan may have been related to the fact that Big Bear had an affiliated store called Hearts that was like Kmart. So the hug thing was sort of related to like hearts and have a heart, although heart was spelled H-A-R-T with no E in the middle. But anyway, it's funny that the slogan of the store was "Give 'em a Big Bear hug." And this manager that I work with was more like Big Bear smug. Ha ha.